Hey there, it's August 8th, 2020, and my dad is over to answer some questions for us about his past, his whole life, for us to look back on and enjoy.
Tough questions.
They're pretty tough. They're very personal, and this is, viewers have sent in some questions they would like to know about you.
So
we're gonna start off with the basics, Pop.
Is this PG-13 or R?
It's an R, not rated
Okay.
yet. Okay. So we're gonna start off talking about general life, Pop. So first question is, when were you born and where? Like the city, the hospital.
Well, I don't know whether I was born in the hospital, but I was born in Bacolod City, Negros Occidental, Philippines.
Okay. What are your parents' names and what were their careers?
Well, my mom, I guess, was just a plain housewife. My father, I understand, was a former teacher and later became the provincial treasurer of the province. That's kind of like the county treasurer here in the United States.
Okay. And what were their birth dates, Pa?
Oh, the birth dates are tomorrow, August 9th, is my father's 115th birthday. And my mom's is August 13th. That would be her 105th birthday.
You didn't say their names, did you?
My mother's name is Aurora Garcia. And my father's name is Ramiro S. Stands for Servando Adeva Sr.
Okay. And then how many siblings do you have, Pa?
I have
And tell me a little bit about them.
5 siblings. Actually, in the family, there's 6 of us, 3 boys and 3 girls.
Can you go in order, Pa?
Yes. Our eldest was a nurse. Thelma was the name, and she passed away in 2016 in Houston, Texas. The second one was Linda, and she looks like my Sarah.
Gorgeous.
A clone, probably gorgeous.
Drop dead.
What is this?
Gorgeous.
Nice skin, like Hawaiian skin, but she died of asthma at a young age of 30, I think. Yeah, she was not married. And the oldest brother is the one that I followed, is Fred. Oh, he is a little of something. He's so quiet, but he smokes, he drinks, and kind of womanizer, if I should say. And of course, that counts me, Ramiro Adeva Jr., the best of the best. Of course, and of course, my younger brother, whose real name is Demosthenes John Adeva, but he changed it when he became an American citizen to become Jack. He lives now in Houston, and the youngest is Zed.
Okay. And in a few words, can you describe yourself as a kid?
How few is few? Well, I was kind of like... I studied hard because my father said so. Do I like it? Not really. But down the road, I figured out it was the best way just to get out of his way. Just as Marie had told me before, that the only way I can get out of your way is to study too and just get it done. My childhood has been really quiet. My father was a disciplinarian. And my mom is just the typical mother, like your mom, always consenting and nothing else.
Okay. What did you do for fun as a kid?
For fun, well, everything in the Philippines, when you do and participate in sports, it always requires money. Mm-hmm. And my father is the guy who always say, I'll invest more in academics rather than in sports. So I didn't have much. We make our own toys. We make out of boxes. We turn them into some kind of toy jeepney or toy automobiles, and we even use just vehicle tires just to roll it down the streets and run up and down just to pass the time. Nothing else really. We're poor.
When did you leave the Philippines?
I left the Philippines in 1974 to follow your mom. At that time, probably, I don't really know whether I used reason over emotion or the other way around. But having seen all the three of you, I think I did the right thing.
And what is the most important thing you've learned to date?
That's a tough question.
I know, right?
Most important thing, just be myself.
Good. That's a good one. Yeah. Tell me about your kids and your grandkids.
Oh my gosh, talking of my kids, my impression of each and every one of them actually were all opposite. Jojo is the oldest, the only boy. I thought growing up, he's like a rah-rah kid, just like his mom. I thought he is a liberal-minded person, but it turns out to be he was kind of like more of a conservative way. Marie, I thought, was quiet and, what shall I say? I was really wrong. You know, I was really wrong. I thought she is more of a reserve and just being quiet. She's smart though, don't get me wrong. She's smart. Yeah. But, I don't know. It just turns out the opposite. And I won't elaborate in that respect. The youngest, wow, this is really a 360 degrees thing. I thought she is lame. She is always the type that is kind of like afraid of everything. But it's the exact opposite. She is the most aggressive, adventurous, you name it, she's got it. I just don't know how to figure it out sometimes. You know, she's afraid of a needle, but driven by foolishness, she is into skydiving, Spartan race, break her bones, bruises all over. I just can't believe it. But she is a very good daughter.
So, Pa, you have 6 grandkids.
I have 6 grandkids. And they're all good, too young to judge. But at the rate they're going, I think from the oldest, who is my namesake, they're doing very well. Jax is quite a politician. Sissy to me is kind of like a princess. Annalyn to me is a genius, I think. Is a genius. Charlize is, I don't know, she wants to be a cashier. But you know, she is a very charming and a very lovable person. Aki, well, he is an achy, breaky heart, really. He is cute. He is still developing into a young boy. And I hope he lives up to the expectation of his parents. I'm longing for the day that I'll see him around, but I don't think so. But overall, I'm happy with all of them.
Pat, what would you say is your biggest accomplishment?
My family.
Family.
You know, with all its ills, imperfections, it's still the best that ever happened to me.
Pa, what is the most dramatic thing in your life that your kids don't know about you?
Dramatic.
Top secret.
What could that be?
That's what the question is.
Well, maybe kind of like a dual personality. People think probably that I'm serious, but I'm really foolish at times. I don't really know, Sarah. Maybe sometimes I'm like you, a little bit of a tail, a little bit of Jojo, and sometimes as crazy as your mom. But overall, I think I'm just a laid-back person.
What do you hope for your kids and grandkids?
Well, to be the best that they can be.
If you win the lotto, Pops, what would you do with it?
Oh, I live a life full of happiness. I'll disown all my kids. No, 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 no. Actually, it's the exact opposite. No, money to me is nothing. Money to me is nothing. So I'll donate some to the wounded warriors, and the rest I'll divide it equally among my 3 kids and among my 6 grandkids, and let them enjoy it.
Okay. What was your first job?
Oh, my first job, actually, well, you know, when I was a little kid, this is one thing my parents always have observed in me. I save money. Sometimes I gather empty bottles and sell them, and old newspapers and sell them. But my first job actually was in an auto repair shop, and I was a bookkeeper.
Okay. And then, Pa, can you tell us about your schooling? Like, what schools did you go to?
Well, I went at a young age. Actually, the first grade is supposed to be 7. I started at 6. My parents just kind of like cheated the whole thing. In the Philippines, you can change your birth certificate. So that's what they did to me. But the teachers actually were saying, you know, he is a good kid. You know, he can handle the first grade, even though he is a year younger than what they ought to be. And that's the story with all. I went to an elementary school, and our standard of instruction then was all English.
What school is that?
That is then the Bacolod East Elementary School. Later on, I understand it was changed to Mabini Elementary School.
How'd you get to school, Pa? Did you just
Oh,
walk?
I walked, and you guys are so lucky. I don't think you ever had the chance to walk. I walk barefooted, all of us do. Asphalt are melting, and we have to tiptoe from the heat that reflects on the asphalt road. You know, we don't have the luxury of even riding on a jeepney. As our life, we walk to our school.
So, like, for elementary and high school, everything
and
fun?
high school, and in college, we can ride.
Okay, so what was that school that we visited with you? And when was that?
Oh, that was my high school.
So what high school was that?
That was the Negros Occidental High School. That's one. That's the largest high school in the
private
province, actually.
The private high school?
No, that's a public school. I'm the only one among the 6 of us who went through public schools. I do not know why my parents ended up putting me in public school, and the rest were in private schools. You know, they have uniforms and everything, like they get bused. And I think, I don't know, I'm the junior, but I don't know, some kind of a punishment or just some kind of a trial for me. But they did not have to go through what I went through.
But for college, Pa, right? Did you tell
Yeah,
you went
for
to
college,
private, right?
I went private because I went on a scholarship. See, and that's how I financed my college. I don't want my parents to spend it for me, so I work and have 75% scholarship from the school at the same time until I graduated. And my first job, of course, was with Citibank.
What was the college name?
De La Salle College. Then it's now a university.
And your major was?
And major was accounting.
Accounting.
But I did not practice it. I ended up working in a bank. And that's First National City Bank of New York in the Philippines.
What year did you graduate college, Pa?
I graduated from college on April 7th, 1968. That's a month and a half before my 20th birthday.
So then can you tell me about your career, Pa? How did you pick your career path? So you went accounting.
Well, I want to be a doctor. But my parents says, no, it's too long, it's too expensive. So I just ended up going through business administration. That's the most common courses. It's easier to find a job out of it. And that's just exactly what I pursued in the process.
Oh.
I made good out of it because I was employed in a very good bank at the time. Banks in the Philippines pays more, which is the exact opposite of what we have here in the United States.
Oh. And then what is your advice for people in search of a career? Like what should they keep in mind? What should they strive for?
Well, dream, aim high, follow it through, and work hard for it.
Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the last sections of the interview.
Okay.
Love. We're
Oh,
talking about
love.
love. Hey, so the hot question is was Mom Evelyn Santiago, was she your first girlfriend?
Well, let me put it this way. Lucky is the man who is
So yes or no
who is,
question.
Listen first. Lucky is the man who is the first love of a woman. And lucky is the woman who is the last love of a man. So, your mom is lucky. Let me put it this way. How does that sound?
Pa, tell us how your path crossed with Mom's.
Oh! Well, the Bible says love your neighbor. She was my neighbor. It was not a
Your
lover.
neighbor where? In Manila?
In Manila,
Uh-huh.
in Quezon City, yes. What is this? It was not a love at first sight for me. It was not love at first sight for her either. In other words, we've been neighbors for 2 years. My friend, who was a neighbor too, because it's an apartment complex, he was saying, "There's a nice lady out there." It did not attract me at first because my ideal woman then was long-haired, a fair complexion, and not too much pain. Your mom has a short hair, ear length. She comes up with a complexion which I like, but she's full of makeup. So it doesn't fall within the boundary of what I was looking for a woman. But I don't know, maybe it's because we always see each other just about every day. 2 years later, I just started courting her. Her brother-in-law, who was speaking the same dialect as I do, ended up telling me and my roommate, your Uncle Tony, too. He said, why don't you court my 2 sister-in-laws? So we went into a double date, and that's how it started, and that's how it ended.
You're talking about Auntie Zenny and
Yes,
Uncle Tony.
that's correct.
Uh-huh.
Tony and I were roommates. We courted both of them together, and we ended up marrying them.
How long did you date or court Mom before you got married?
Oh, 72. Then we got married in 76. It's a long time.
And do you remember like when you knew that you wanted to marry Mom? Like what the moment was where you're like, this is who I'm gonna marry?
Because I'm tired.
You're-
I'm tired of my life. I'm already 24, 25.
so you're ready to settle down?
Okay. So tired of chasing. And so I said...
Because in that chase, Pa, you had followed Mom to the States,
Exactly,
right?
exactly. And
To Hawaii.
to Hawaii, correct. And
In 74.
in 74. And to Mom's credit, I was really received well by her folks. Uncle Noni and his wife Auntie Lo didn't know me at all. Total stranger. But you know what? They really afforded the opportunity to be hospitable. And actually, I had lived with them for a few months. So I'm very thankful. They were a very good family, really. They were good to me.
You lived with them when in that one city that Mom brought me in Hawaii, that W city. Is that apartment, the 2-bedroom?
Oh,
apartment?
no. That is in Waipaho, that's correct. No, I live in the house of Kuya Nuni,
Oh, okay.
which is also in Waipaho. Your mom lived in an apartment also in Waipaho.
Oh, I see.
That 2-bedroom that close to the church, correct.
Okay, okay. And then how did you propose? Or how was that like? It might be a little different than our generation.
Well,
Do you just talked about it, or did you like make it a significant event?
In the Philippines, there's a process called betrothal. But yeah, in the Philippines we do that, but you know what can I do? My parents are in the Philippines, so I asked your mom. I said, can you talk to my parents? I said, yeah, that's just exactly what I did.
Oh, okay.
I talked to her mom,
Uh-huh.
who at the time I already happened to have a rapport with, and I talked to Uncle Noni, and he said, if both of you love each other, go ahead. So we got married. But 20 days after our wedding, I left for boot camp, went to San Antonio, Texas, and started my career in the Air Force for 4 years. That's how we ended up being here in this area, in Travis.
So you went to boot camp in 76.
That's correct.
So
We got married in January 3, 1976. And I was off to Luckland on January 23, 1976. And we never saw each other again until after boot camp and tech school, which was sometime in June 1976.
Okay. Do you have any questions? Do you have any questions? No? Okay. Pa, what is your favorite quote that you want to leave the audience with today?
Well, that's a hard question. In general, I should say whatever you do, you pursue it with vigor, hard work, and determination. Failure is not an option.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to fail, because failure is a measure of success.
Okay. Then, Paul, what's your favorite song?
Oh my God, my favorite song, rap song,
Yeah.
probably.
Pa, I know. I think maybe
Not
people
Imagine.
Imagine. Okay.
By who is that by, Pa?
John Lennon.
I think it might surprise people that you actually like to dance too, right, Paul? Would you say?
No, not really.
Oh, you said cha-cha.
Oh no,
Yeah?
no, I don't. No,
No?
I don't dance. Your mom probably will dance. No, but I don't.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't. No wonder you're asking me what's the best cha-cha.
Okay. Oh, he was biting the. Okay. Well, I think that's it.
That's it.
No,
Kind
that's
of
it.
boring.
No.